What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from Dawson Speak TV and D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the videos on this channel. Much love to those who support this channel by donating. I appreciate it. All that information is in the description box underneath the video. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I drop a new video. Now let's get into this topic. Alright, thanks for clicking on the video. Now, this video is for educational purposes, and as I approach this topic with respect, I want you all to please be respectful in my comment section. Thanks. Dawson, where you been, man? Don't worry about that, but just know that I'm glad to be in the service one more time. Now, I have two topics that I'm going to talk about in this video, so bear with me. However, before I begin, I want to say that Dawson Speaks TV does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, gender expression, age, national origin, disability, marital status, sexual orientation, military status, or political affiliation. Now, this story comes it comes from social media. Many of you all started it a couple of months ago, and now I'm ready to talk about it. People were trying to push me to talk about it. I'm an OG around here. I talk about what I want when I'm ready. Now look, I continue to get comments and letters saying, Dawson, why don't you talk about TD Jakes at those parties? Why don't you talk more about your Bishop Noel Jones? Look here. I've talked about TD Jakes on this show because you all know that I'm crazy about his wife, First Lady Sarita Jakes. Love me some Sarita Jakes. And of course, I've talked about Bishop Noel Jones several times on this show. What more can I say about Bishop Noel Jones? He got married over 2 years ago. Allegedly, he has a lot of money for selling his old church building to Amazon. As of late, they're having church at a temporary location. He got married to the classy, talented, super sophisticated Loretta Jones. We all know that one Sunday in August in the year of our Lord 2023, while at church, First Lady Loretta Jones got punched, and hell, the next day she was over in Beverly Hills having lunch because she's cool like that. There's really nothing more to say on that couple. Well, Dawson, what about TD Jakes at Diddy's parties? What about it? You ain't never been to no parties before? You're self-righteous behind. Look, now, let me be real. My opinion is this. Because Bishop T.D. Jakes is one of the most sought-after religious speakers in the world, I don't think it was in Bishop T.D. Jakes' best interest to be associated with Diddy. Because many of us, we have seen how Diddy has moved throughout the years, and it hasn't been good. Now, we all know that Diddy settled with Cassie, and once that happened, some things started to surface about his past entanglements, if you will, that had people talking. People talked about Diddy's parties and what they believe happened at those parties. And now all of a sudden, everyone who attended one of his parties or associated with Diddy is suspect. Well, not everyone. People really came after Bishop T.D. Jakes, and they said some horrible, and I do mean horrible things about this man that to this day, no one has been able to show proof. Where's the proof? We want to see the proof. Until I have proof, or we have proof, that Bishop T.D. Jakes did any of those things that individuals on social media teased him about, we could chop it all up to just rumors, or better yet, a smear campaign. A smear campaign that has backfired on narcissistic individuals who will do anything, and I do mean anything, to stay relevant. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who don't care for Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I know this because you get in my comment section, I don't know why, and tell me, go to his comment section. He has a YouTube channel as well. No matter what he does, they just don't care for him, and that's fine. But I ask again, where's the proof from those rumors that were spreaded over 2 months ago? None of you all jumped on Chris Brown. He was at least at one of those parties. I saw him making fun of the situation in the studio, talking about swallowed up. People started sending that video everywhere. But then I also saw a video where Chris Brown was jumping on a big bed in Diddy's backyard. No one dragged Chris Brown. Moving forward, I'm sure Bishop T.D. Jakes and other men and women of his caliber will be extremely careful of the people they associate themselves with. But just don't be careful when it comes to celebrities. Also, be careful when you're dealing with some of these social media influencers as well. Now, when the story of Bishop T.D. Jakes attending Diddy's parties became public knowledge, it set social media ablaze, and people in their comment sections and commentary on the subject, it became harsh and homophobic. And that particular topic, I'm going into the second part here, it led to other conversations that people had online about LGBTQIA plus individuals not just attending church, but serving in leadership roles in the Lord's church. And there were a lot of people, especially religious people, saying that we got to get that gay spirit out the church. And then there were gay people who responded saying that gay is not a spirit, and some of them even said that they were gay by God. Take a breath. What you say? I ain't said. That's what they said. They said they were gay by God, meaning that God knew who and what they would be, and God made them this way. And that debate continues to go on to this day. Now look, before I go on, don't get mad with me. I just simply report the news again and give you this awesome commentary. Remember, this is what's going on in your world, your churches, with your pastors, your entertainers, your gospel singers, and it's just my opinion. Now, one of my subscribers told me, Dawson, religion has caused a lot of people to live double lives. However, there are some people who are honest about who and what they are. And then she went on to say that LGBTQIA plus individuals have and will continue to be in the church. And then she sent me a video, this story about a pastor and a piano player. A pastor and a piano player. Now, the pastor said that God made him this way and that he is fearfully and wonderfully made, and he is the pastor of a thriving black church, the historic Myrtle Baptist Church in West Newton, Massachusetts. Well, Dawson, what's so historic about the church? Well, I'll tell you. The historic Myrtle Baptist Church in West Newton, Massachusetts is one of America's oldest black congregations, founded by formerly enslaved persons at the end of Reconstruction. The church is celebrating its 150-year anniversary, and the senior pastor is Reverend Dr. Brandon Thomas Crowley. Now, Reverend Dr. Brandon Thomas Crowley is an African-American pastor, preacher, author, scholar in religion, theology, and queer theory. I didn't even know there was such a thing. His degrees are authentic, and so is his life. Now, I'm going to let you all watch this video, and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary, and you all know me, I'm Dawson, and I won't hold back.
Tonight, a pastor who is working to open the minds of the faithful by being himself. WBC's Brandon Truitt with the story at the intersection of religion and identity.
On any given day, you'll find Pastor Brandon Thomas Crowley in his office under a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but his real work is done here.
You've got to learn how to see your differences as what God wants to use.
Behind the pulpit of Myrtle Baptist Church in Newton, the 37-year-old has come a long way from his childhood in Rome, Georgia, but he knew from the beginning he wanted to preach.
I've always been very enamored by the black church. I was raised in the black church. The deacons and leaders of my home churches were like superheroes to me, and I looked up to them. They were my Michael Jordans.
But there's an added layer to this story. Crowley is gay, and he says he always has been.
When I would preach on the front porch, I would often do so in my grandmother's high heels.
Crowley navigated a career of ministry cloaked in one of the most contentious cultural debates of our time, homosexuality at the intersection of religion. He ran into resistance from the beginning.
I remember one time there were kids outside that were throwing rocks at me and laughing at me because I was on the front porch preaching with a robe on, with my grandmother's high heels and a stiff rag that she used for washing dishes. And I ran in the house and I was crying with my Bible, and she looked at me and she turned me about face and she said, "You go back out there and you continue preaching."
His family affirming from the start. Identities, be it sexual or religious, can be hard to balance for many in the LGBTQ community. It seems impossible for some. Crowley says it's not always been smooth sailing, but he's been confident he was not the problem.
I have always known that I was queerfully and wonderfully made. The queering that I do in churches is not bringing churches into the world or bringing the world into churches. It's actually drawing churches closer to the original message of Christ, which is about love and acceptance.
Crowley went to Morehouse Harvard Divinity School and finished with a doctorate from Boston University. He became pastor of the historic Myrtle Baptist Church in 2009. Years later, he would be guest preaching at another Boston church where he would meet Tyrone Sutton. Years later, they would marry.
I'm proud of the work that he's been able to do, and I encourage him so much because it means so much for musicians like myself.
Sutton is successful in his own right. The assistant principal at the Boston Arts Academy plays organ at a different church.
The soundscapes in our home are me upstairs preparing for sermons and rehearsing my sermons out loud.
And I'm down on the piano just playing the tracks that I'm getting ready for Sunday morning.
Sutton was raised in Alabama, just an hour from where Crowley grew up in Georgia, and he knows the struggle of coming up gay in church.
And we have many times had to sit through so often and listen to homophobic sermons, homophobic messages in the church while still sitting there and have to play behind contributing to the process. And when you love doing what you do and you feel like you can't do it unless you hide, that it does something to you over time. It really messes with you over time.
Their goal in sharing their story to inspire others to be more themselves. Crowley, with a lesson from his grandmother, he still carries with him today.
She would say to me all the time, baby, don't ever allow people to make you think there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with them.
What a little love, grace, and acceptance can do. In Newton, Brandon Truitt, WBZ News.
There is such a power in authentically being yourself.
He's so great, too, at spreading this message of love. And, boy, the energy he has, just doing a great job.
I'm through a lot.
All right, y'all, let's go in. But you know what? I'm going to let you all go in. Let me know what you think about these topics. What do you think about the Bishop T.D. Jakes situation? Do you believe it? Also, let me know what you think about Reverend Dr. Brandon Crowley being an openly gay pastor preaching at a historic black church. And also, what do you think about LGBTQIA people in leadership in the church? Because it's happening. They're there, y'all. They ain't going nowhere. So get down in the comment section and let me know what you think about this video. Please be respectful, you all. No nasty comments will be shown on this channel. I suggest you take all that energy and start your own YouTube channel, and you can say and write anything you want to say and write over there, all right? Until next time, it's your guy Dawson. Thumbs up the video. Thank you all for supporting this channel. Those who support, I appreciate it. You know who you are. Thank you, all my subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and each other. Peace.